good morning, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dawn of Ascension morning show, where I am here with my soul team, my Ascension soul team, Aubrey, Gina, Susie, and myself. I'm Arlene, and we're here to talk about the wild and crazy, wonky energies that we're going through during our ascension times that we're having, and discuss a little bit about our journey and how we see ascension from our group here. Today, we decided that we would like to talk about the different dimensions while we are ascending, because we understand that we're absolutely ascending in dimensions, and it's a consciousness ascension, and it's kind of Aubrey. Aubrey has the our encyclopedia of all things source. Okay, can
Hi,
you
everyone.
explain about this?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like to start first by I want to kind of point or bring attention to the fact that our souls are infinite beings. There is truly no such thing as an older soul than another, because we are all infinite. Our fractals and our frequencies go to infinity. It never ends. So when we talk about ascension, it's something that your soul has done many, 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 many times. And so when we move through the dimensions, often what happens is you move into the high dimensions and you decide to go for another ride. Let's do it again. And it's fun to go down to the lower dimensions and basically hone in your frequency. It's a process of just really, 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 really like refining different skill sets and parts of our soul that we're interested in learning more about. And that's much easier to do in the lower dimensions in kind of a pressure cooker than it is in the higher dimensions when you're kind of experiencing a lot more. So when we are talking about moving into a higher dimension, because we talk about that a lot in Ascension, we talk about moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, and that's a lot of what we're doing right now. When you hear those words from a third dimensional perspective, it's very easy to feel like your body's going to be going somewhere. It's like you're physically going to be moving into a higher dimension, and it's more that the way that you experience and perceive things is what changes, is what shifts dimensions. And so as you get more connected into your heart and your mind, as your mind and your heart get more and more connected into your body, you start expanding dimensionally in the way that you experience the world. And so a lot of you who have been experiencing ascension and have been kind of on the ascension path, you might have noticed that your heart is a lot more open to love. And you're experiencing things like maybe fairies are stealing some of your knickknacks, or maybe like you might have experienced encountering a Pleiadian. Pleiadians are currently kind of hanging around the fifth dimension in order to assist us in this process of moving up. And they often appear to you in as a little animal. Sometimes they'll disguise themselves as a tree just to hang out with you. They are really, really good at not scaring the human psyche, because it can be really startling to encounter an extraterrestrial being. And so being able to perceive those things and also not have fear around them is an indicator that you're moving up in your dimensionality. And truthfully, if you're sitting on YouTube and watching shows like Dawn of Ascension, you're expanding in your dimensionality, and it's exciting.
Yes, it really is. It's so wonderful to not be sad or not be angry, because you realize, "Oh, I did it to myself.
Yeah. All
Oh,
along it was me.
all along it was me." Yeah, and you don't get hooked in that, and sometimes I can just see, you can see an energy around someone and just know that they're just in an energy bubble, and it's like, well, that's an energy bubble, and they could be having a difficult time or something like that. So that's how I perceive it a lot. Gina, do you have anything to add to this dimension?
I've just noticed, especially recently, working with this group, needless to say it, we're all expanding our dimensions as we're working together. My heart feels so much bigger and open to everything. And it was an adventure this weekend with different dimensional beings. I kept getting earaches whenever things that were happening amongst us needed to be cleared or needed some assistance or tuned into. And that was a new experience for me to that extent. So it's, yeah, the frequencies are interesting.
So a dimension is specifically a frequency, then that's exactly what we're dealing with as the frequencies go, then the dimensions, and we rise into those, and there's like lower 4, middle 4, upper 4, 5. Is that 5D? Is that kind of how it goes, or is that a real linear look upon
I would
it?
say that's a really linear, like I really hesitate to even like I do put numbers to the third and fifth dimension just because that particular octave is a thing. But when so many other people are putting numbers to dimensions, it's totally okay. Numbers to things do correlate, and that's great. But I generally hesitate to put numbers to dimensions because they're expansive. They're very multidimensional. Once you start moving into the fourth dimension, for example, which we're already doing, you start to experience time in a non-linear way. I'm sure that many people who are watching are starting to have future memories come. And that's something that you work with a lot, where you might meet someone and remember them, but you are remembering them from the future. And that's because we're moving up into this dimensionality. And so it's more of this expansiveness. It's like it gets more and more, everything makes has a little bit more resonance as you go up, like, and it's like impossible to describe until you go up. And so the only way to do that is to connect into your heart.
Right. Connect down into our heart. It's always about our heart.
Sure is.
Wow, that's this is a subject we're gonna have to pick apart and just kind of expand a little more as we're discussing it, because it is just huge. Huge. Okay.
It's sort of all encompassing everything that's happening right now.
Right. Because dimensions are shifting and energies are shifting, and they're free and they're flowing amongst each other, and some are leaving and some are coming back in. And it's yeah, there's just a lot of swirling and clearing and different stuff going on right now. A lot of shifting happened this weekend.
Yeah.
Friday, lots and lots of shifting.
I'm sure many of you who are watching this notice this weekend was a big shift. So congratulations for making it to the other side, because that was a lot.
Yeah. There was Mother Earth and the trees and the crystals and everything got in on it this weekend, and everything shifted really big. Susie, do you have a fairy message for us today?
Yes, I do. I picked a card for us today. It's Mike the Mayomancer. There he is. Mike the Mayomancer. He is He reads the past, the present, and potential of all beings in the movement of mice. I just love my fairy cards. Can you see the little itty bitty mice hiding behind those little
Yes, those
little
leaves.
leaves?
How
Yeah.
cute.
Yep. So Mike is asking us to pay close attention to the details of our everyday life. And I think what he really wants us to do is try and discover, the inner meaning of our most ordinary experiences. So if we can learn on how to pick up on those messages, I think we'll have a much easier time and we won't, be bonked on them, with something later. So yeah, so there's Mike the Myomancer. Nice short fairy message today. Arlene, is that Bernard I hear calling? Does he have a message
Oh,
for you to share with us?
Bernard. Yes, he does. So I got challenged by Gina last Friday that Bernard wants to talk to me. So anyway, I got a connection with Bernard and I got this wonderful message, and he's been in my yard for we've been here 35 years and he's been here the whole time.
Bernard is an oak tree, just to
Yes.
refresh.
Yeah, Bernard's an oak tree. He's a beautiful oak tree, and he's right outside my patio, and he helps shade my patio area. And he is what you call a golden tree. And he showed me how he was chosen because it was all set that I was going to come here and live here and hold space with him in this house, and how he was chosen and planted, and he was the only oak tree that got planted in the backyard. And he is very, very old, and he holds the cross ley line points. So there's a cross ley line point in my yard that's just right outside off my patio, and he holds a grounding point with that. And then I have an underground river that flows through. And then I hold light, so I'm a light pillar as well. So I come and I hold light here with Bernard. So then I hold light from the stars, and then Bernard holds light as a golden tree. And then I realized that for years when I tuned into the tree collective, I would see them, but they would be little dots all around the world, these little golden dots. And I didn't know what that meant, but Gina informed me that that means that I'm looking at that each ley line point where each golden tree is located on the grid point for Mother Earth. So anyway, he's going to be going to be quite chatty, and I was having difficulty grounding was part of the issue because I do a lot of clearing for the tree collective too. And so when right before he gave me the download of this message, he told me to stand on his roots. And I'm like, okay, because he's got some kind of bumpy roots that stand there. So I stood on his roots, and then he just and I opened my my foot chakras, and he just took and just grounded me right in and through the entire Golden Tree Collective. It was really a magical moment. It was really quite awesome. So that is Bernard's story, and he's getting kind of chatty about it. He's got stuff he wants to share.
Thank you, Bernard.
So can you explain a little bit more about these cross ley line points where the golden trees are holding these light points?
Yeah. Well, so right now, a lot of what's happening in the ascension of Earth is an integration that is moving into a morphogenic grid. And so when I say that, I mean that the grid that we're moving into is a lot less static than the grid that we are leaving from the third dimension. A lot of the building blocks and the stability supports of the grid have already been implemented, and now we're moving into this higher dimensional grid that moves and breathes. And so it's built in such a way that if like a person moves walks down a street, the ecosystem will compensate. Something, another type of energy will come in behind them, and so we'll all sort of be able to move together as a single organism, and kind of have more of a collective consciousness and a more connection to each other and this reality that we've all created together. So a lot of the things that are also changing, Gina got some downloads. Do you want to talk about the crystals being integrated?
Yeah, that was an amazing download. And well, I was in meditation basically and got sort of out of from somewhere I hadn't been before. I started to see that I was asking about who I am, what I'm doing. And this was the first time that I was really shown, it's like I saw the soup of energies and frequencies that came in to start forming this planet. And I got that I was part of that I was the original frequency for the crystalline grid, if you will. That my soul essence, I guess, was came into this creation. I get a little fuzzy how to explain that. But at that point, and then so anyway, then I branched out and formed, and as the earth started forming more and more, and I was part of the crystalline grid. And then it was interesting that so I was asking about, all of everything that happened with Atlantis and Lemuria. And they showed me that those were seeded crystalline grids that were brought from elsewhere and infiltrated, if you will, our planet. And through seeing that, I get that now with the ascension that's happening, it's time for those frequencies to be integrated with the original frequencies of the planet. This is my cat, Amy. So those frequencies are melding with the original frequency of the earth, which had sort of been taken over by the Atlantis Lemurian grid. So now planet Earth, or Terra, that the original crystalline grid is coming back online and being more prevalent. The others are joining. And I was just checking now as I was thinking about what to say, and I get there's about 3 more days of integration process that's happening. It had to go through all of the upper earth. South Africa was the worst. It took quite a bit of effort to move through that area. China, Brazil wasn't too bad, but then we've gone down into Middle Earth and Inner Earth, but there's still some more pockets of integration that need to happen. That's my update for the moment.
One of my favorite things about this process that Mother Earth is going through right now is she's taking her history and all the things that have happened, and she's integrating it all together to become a new whole. She's not throwing away those parts of herself that experience those things and contracted those things. She's taking it all, the shadow and the light, and is integrating it all together to become her, because it is part of her story. And I think that we can all learn a lot from Mother Earth in the way that she is choosing to complete this process.
Wow. Wow, that is beautiful. And I could feel a change in it when there was a definite shift with Gina's energy. Her energy is sweeter and more direct.
That's scary for a triple Scorpio. More direct.
I know, but it's got this real sweetness, but it's like, we're not gonna bullshit about this stuff. We're gonna, it's real direct, and it knows what it wants, I guess is a better term for it. Yeah. So, wow. Do we hear anything?
Beep, beep.
Beep, 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 beep.
Pleiadians are calling.
Yes, I think we have a message today.
The Pleiadians are. We do. We have a message today from the Pleiadians, and this is kind of a fun message. They want to talk a little bit about first contact protocols and what it looks like to have contact with the Pleiadian, which is part of the reason I was talking about it earlier. They want to start approaching more people. They want you to know that they will first be talking to you telepathically. So that means that you need to be in your heart. If you want the experience of talking to a Pleiadian, you need to be in your heart, and it needs to be for the right reasons. The Pleiadians are going to come to you to prove that they're real. That is the number one way to make sure you will not see a Pleiadian. They will come and greet their dear friends. So if you are interested in starting the process of kind of raising your frequency, they do need to be around a little bit higher frequencies, and so that does involve making sure that your body is clear of some lower frequencies, and so chemicals and low frequency foods will affect your ability to hear your friends. But they'd like to remind everyone that you all know each other already. They're your friends. And yeah, they would love to say hello to your friends. So if you are interested in a first contact protocol, then start reaching out.
Oh man, I keep saying I'm gonna see him. Okay. Yeah, no, we have our conversations.
I just keep asking, could you walk down the driveway? I really don't want to wake up at night and you're standing in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They will approach you in the least scary way possible. And if your psyche is still, I mean, if you still get spooked by shadows in your bedroom at night, then they might not be approaching you physically. However, they would love to continue to have conversations with you in the meantime, until you work through your fear. So work on your fear and work on your frequency.
Oh boy, fears and frequencies. Oh my. Okay, ladies. Well, I thank you everyone for coming and enjoying our show, the Dawn of Ascension Morning Show. And if you have any topics or anything or questions that you would like, please include those in the comments below. And we would like to invite everyone back Monday, Wednesday, Fridays to the Dawn of Ascension Morning Show. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, hold on.